Guys, it's Friday, London Marathon is a week on Sunday, and we have seen loads of internet forum posts worrying about the weather. Now, the first thing I'd say to you is at this stage, long distance weather forecasts are notoriously inaccurate, and I wouldn't be wasting loads and loads of emotional energy constantly refreshing a weather forecast that we have no idea what it's going to be like until we get into next week. It will waste your energy, and I would really focus you on controlling what you can control in the taper, not worrying too much about weather forecasts that we don't know is accurate anyway. But if it is going to be warm, there are a few really obvious things you can do to help out in hot weather conditions when racing. Firstly, think about your clothing choices. Again, it's a really obvious one, but people really miss it. So perhaps you're racing in a vest instead of a short sleeve t-shirt. Perhaps you're racing in a short sleeve t-shirt instead of a long sleeve t-shirt. Perhaps you're wearing shorts instead of long tights. Pretty obvious things, but easily forgotten, because as you go up to the start on race morning, it can feel cold. So wear old clothes to the start that you can discard as you start to run. Perhaps you are going to wear a hat or arm warmers or gloves, things that you can remove as your body starts to warm up. But when you really get into your running, keeping your body as cool as possible is a real performance benefit. I would think about wearing a cap to keep the sun out of my eyes, but it will also allow you to perhaps drop a little bit of water onto the cap. This will retain some of it, and it will just keep your head cool, which will really help mentally and physically. The next up is obviously think about your hydration. If it's hotter, you're going to need to drink more. Really obvious, but because we've had a plan in place, it's quite hard to go off that plan and do things differently. So do take a bottle of water with you to the start. Drinking to thirst is a very sensible way to approach the marathon, but you just need to be a bit more aware of it in super hot conditions. For some of you, if you're, say, a salty sweater, and you will know that if you get chalky marks on your face or on your clothes, you're going to need to think about perhaps taking some electrolytes or maybe even some salt supplementation on race day. Use the next 10 days to work that out and really get that strategy clear in your mind. The next bit is possibly the hardest bit, because we go into a race with a plan and we don't like to adapt. But if the temperatures are going to be super hot and a lot hotter than we've trained in, you are going to need to adapt your pacing strategy a little bit. Your body will not work at the same heart rate and the same intensity in 17, 18 degrees as it would in 9 or 10 degrees. We can't change the weather, but we can adapt our pacing approach if we are sensible and we're realistic. Okay, so just because you went into race day with a plan, if the weather doesn't cooperate with that, we're going to need to adapt. It puts even more emphasis on you getting that first 10 to 15k of the race really nice and controlled, no harder than your planned race pace. And actually, if it's super hot, you're going to need to give yourself a few seconds a mile slower than you had intended to run. Accept it, guys. It's you against the distance and the conditions on race day. So good luck. We can't wait to see you out there, and you will have a fantastic day, whatever the weather.